Minum dulu. Sampai mana ya? Mana sih jalannya? Jauh juga ya. Situ.
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in this area started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her path. You think this was planned? Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastport, the Empire's been tightening its grip and the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. But now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the port. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it...
And now she's missing. She's fallen into the hands of
A couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Find the curse breaker. Curse breaker. Mana kalinya?
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon. Boys, let's get you to physical
Sid? What's that you? I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help, and it appears he was rough.
You could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but
Any idea where?
judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise, but
To the Abbey, sheltering Martha's bed.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people.
we will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said, I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good.
You do the same.
Jauh juga ya, berarti ke kanan.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Bener kan?
Get those horses.
Lihat nih, kekuatan baru. Lampir. Cuma. Sampai saya tidak bisa bangun. Too easy.
Look. Up ahead. Arthur, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Sheep.
Bastards caught wind. The Abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. But poor souls turned on the Imperium.
Then, Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn?
I think so.
Black shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one order of shields in this area, and they fought to defend all our citizens.
Three steps too far. The Empire.
Oh, no, no.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
No.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offence.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Oh,
Clive,
This won't take long.
makan mulu kerjanya. Ini ada pakai tuh.
Is that all of them?
I think so. I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive. The abbot.
The bearers died protecting it, calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials?
They are.
Tell Mother to beg his aid and hope.
In here!
Clive. He's gone.
We've laid the abbot at the bearers.
No, they didn't. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose.
Martha said they rose from their beds.
I've gathered the bearer's remains.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. If the abbot was still with us, seat of tea.
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to.
Nah, misi yang tadi belum selesai. Mana lagi kita? Mas buat lambat macam gini.
This one.
Oh tuh gue left ya. Dia ngikutin.
Kapten.
Do you think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball. Too slow. See that coming. That must be the bridge.
Demi 5 kilo doang.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are.
I hope so.
The pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. Cole is worried.
All right.
Bisa nggak gue langsung teleport kayak gitu? Nah, itu oke. Martha, my friend.
No one survived then.
I'm sorry.
doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on cold said you cast their remains. But it should have been me.
How?
But I did. The rumours started moons ago. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted, nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. Which begs the question. My mother obviously has a hand in this.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and... Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well.
We can't stay long. No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling.
Black blood. Return to.
What in the... What is going on?
I'm back. My blood. My brody. Calf.
Where's Gav?
Ja. Wat maakt het ons net?
I hear there's trouble.
My bro.
Ah, Clive! I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first.
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
While the two nations beat their shields, the rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the mother crystals. Four mother crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dharmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. If there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron Rossfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rossfield. And you're a Rossfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Iya udah, gue nggak mau ini sibuk. Sibuk tong.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
Sebentar. Di untung 4 busan nih. Ya, bersini. Bagusan dikit ya. Oke, lanjut. Kemana kita?
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
I always knew that I would return.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We'll face it together then.
To the end.
Ikut-ikutan aja lah.
Come on.
Bloodlines.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Portisolda. We visit as many as we can, and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Hamburg.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! Nothing, we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You should have our...
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
All right, I heard you.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There've been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire. What with their 100 full
Mana
legions?
villagers.
I heard you were 1,000. seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just, at least I think they was the Black Shields.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
But what do you think? Amber's the arse sending out. If only we were. I might have turned him in.
You don't think these...
Black Shield baru kena kau belum boleh with German from the
brands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out.
bro. Bro.
At this rate, there'll be none left to help with the harvest.
Greetings, friend.
I know that.
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial...
Don't you go telling these...
I speak for the people of this village, and if you are to leave Amber,
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here. But the Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, some might call it submission. This village will not become another Eastpool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right? Well, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find... Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
Aneh. Lurus terus, masuk gang, senggol kiri.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Apa tuh?
Ever since the these echoes.
What do you think is waking you? The mother crystals are black.
Idea. Exactly like it.
Yoo-hoo.
More of my mother's men.
Kasih lawan yang keras.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your home.
The Black Shield.
You know who we are. And still, why then? We owe you our thanks. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night.
Say that again. I'll show you a true Solitarian. Tell me what I want to the end. Who are you looking for?
Your friends have been They await you in all.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry. Find something, boy. Death.
Astaga.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone?
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this... I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have been this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
We're approaching Newark Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosabeth.
Or is it the clothes?
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
Get him!
Hari aman aja. Sabar aja.
Get him!
Silicon strand.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle felt better.
Udah masih dilawan, mas gue. Sebenarnya kecil banget.
That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! said, where were you, filth? Back to your stall. Cut you down where you stand. Destroy it.
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. But Lazarus... We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. And the entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
Black light burns.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
That might be.
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Ano? I don't toggle. Huwag na.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son?
So wait, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we.
Make ready.
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
So we'll show him as much mercy as they did our sister.
Tell us then, Sir Wade.
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge, sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians. The Black Shields will call... This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see.
How small exactly?
Small enough. Now that I have you and Lady Jill for company.
But until we arrived, that was your plan.
So wait.
Very good.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will...
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shield.
And so we shall.
Onko se teleporteikin te?
In the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
Yes, thank you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village, we tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Quiet sense.
Look at me sideways. How was the black? Come along now. Bastards are lucky I didn't have my hands.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman, could guard aught against the might of the Black Die along with... For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Put the
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
More dragons! Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
Over here! Stay down!
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point, that this land is in dire need of cleansing.
do it, do it.
occupied. We need to finish this.
We'd finish him.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then? I often wonder if the nation her fields rot. We battle to preserve them, yet be that as it may. For as long as the Firebird and her loyal subjects may dream...
So wait, I...
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison? A sound strategy, my lord.
Quest complete. Black or white?
And how long has my uncle been funding you?
Since the beginning. Lord Bar, and had I known of this,
I suppose a formal
and appearance, were the Vice-Regency to Cat, where he would be of no use, and so, though it sickens him to it is why he remains ever vigilant.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove...
I might have something which could... It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men at... If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you.
Thank you, Sir Wayne. If there is ever anything you need...
I know.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right to guess, my uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosefield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil, the Unshard. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Meadow in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint of the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ah! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. Besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
On your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy. But now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass.
be fun.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she? Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days. Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. But before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Bertemu is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Oke, lanjut nanti lagi. Thank you.